I recently got a question. If and when should I accept requests during paid gigs? Well, the long and short of it is it's really up to you as the DJ. But here's some things to consider. When you've spent hours meticulously crafting a playlist, it's kind of hard to just throw another random song in. But here are some pros and cons to help you determine whether or not it's appropriate. Accepting requests can help engagement. It can help people from the crowd feel better about the party, right? Feel like they have a hand in the vibes, which makes them also feel comfortable to dance, which can be a plus. When guests hear their song, it can create memorable moments for the entire party. They become more invested in the party itself, which means more dancing, more interacting, which is great. Sometimes all you need is that one party starter to get everyone else onto the dance floor. Accepting requests can also lead to positive feedback through word of mouth. This means a person having their song be played and telling everyone how great of a DJ you are. And you know what? Groupthink is a real thing. So if enough people say it, the word is spread, and guess what? You probably have another gig going. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you accept requests all the time, everyone's going to love it, because this is not the case. You do want to think in your DJ mind, is this something that everyone's going to enjoy? Or is this just a one-off and this person should probably play the song on their own time? Requests can act as instant feedback. It can really help you to gauge which direction you should go. Let's say you work on your playlist, but your playlist is not hitting. Accepting a request from the group can potentially help you, and you can gauge to see if you should go further in that direction or continue to pivot and find where you fit in. I don't recommend playing songs that you've never heard. But what I meant to say was, requests can be like light bulbs going off in your head. Like, oh yeah, that song would actually be great. Now listen, it's your job as a DJ to play songs that people like. I know when I started out as a DJ, all I wanted to play was what I liked. I wanted to put everybody on. I wanted everybody to know about the music that I liked. But here's the thing, if I can teach you something really quickly that's gonna take you really far as a DJ, it's not about what you like. It's not about what you like. It's about what the crowd likes. It's about what the vibe is that you're trying to create, and that you are a narrator for this beautiful moment in time for your audience. You have to also consider the fact that some clients, the person that hired you, may want to only hear their music, okay? They may not want you to accept requests. So sometimes you can also ask your client, hey, are you open to requests? Let's say they give you a whole list of genres and artists that they like. They probably don't want to hear anything that's not on that list, okay? You want to communicate. You want to ask questions, especially if this is a paid gig for maybe a commercial space or a wedding, something that is very serious. You want to know, you want to ask questions, you don't want to guess, and you want to be sure. So some cons to accepting requests are simply the fact that nobody wants to hear that song. You don't want to hear that song. The audience doesn't want to hear that song. Only that person in the crowd that asked you to play the song wants to hear that song. That's the worst thing that can happen. So it's your job as the DJ to gauge and be able to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to play that. Or no, I'm not accepting requests right now. There's so many ways to say no, and don't be afraid of it. Okay. So one con about accepting requests is just the logistics of it. If you have an entire playlist that's ready to be played adding in another song that may go against the BPMs, that may go against the total vibe of the party in that moment is something you do not want to do. You don't want to test it. You don't want to chance it. You don't want to see how good you can blend it in or any of that. You don't want to. There also may be times where people request the same songs over and over and over, or the same artist over and over and over. It's a real thing. You have to gauge and determine when that's appropriate. Hey, if people are really into Glorilla right now, it may not hurt you to play an excessive amount of Glorilla, but you are the one that has to gauge that. Overall, as the DJ, it's up to you. If you want to accept a good request, then go right on ahead, but be sure to actively look at your crowd, actively determine whether or not they're engaged by the music. That's the best way to determine how good you're doing, is to look at the crowd. Are people dancing? Are people responsive to the music that you're playing? So overall, here are a few things. You want to have pre-event communication with your client. What do they want played? What type of vibe are they going for? What type of gig is this? Is there explicit language? Is there non-explicit language? Are there requests? What are things they do want to hear and don't want to hear? Get all of that mapped out. A professional DJ has a way to say no to requests. I'll see if I can fit that in. I'm focusing on a specific vibe tonight, so thanks for the suggestion. You can prioritize requests that generally flow with everything you're already doing. You want to make sure that when you DJ, it's memorable in a number of ways. You want to be professional, you want to be able to interact with the crowd, and you want to narrate your night with beautiful music. I hope this is something that helps. See you next time.